Thank you, everyone, for coming. We must put Canada first. And that is why common sense conservatives condemn President Trump's massive, unjust, and unjustified tariffs, which will damage both American and Canadian economies. Canada is the United States' closest friend, greatest ally, and, most important, neighbor. We share the longest undefended border. We fought alongside the Americans in 2 world wars, Korea, and Afghanistan, where we lost 158 of our brilliant young men and women to avenge the attacks of 9/11 on New York and Washington. There is no justification whatsoever for these tariffs or this treatment. Canada will never be the 51st state. We are an independent, proud, and strong nation. Borders. They are the protective arms wrapped around a people and a land to stop foreign threats and protect against enemies. They mark our place and stake out our ground as a people and country. But in 9 years, the NDP Liberals have lost control of our borders, letting drugs, guns, and terrorists threaten our people. Part incompetence, and part their radical, borderless, globalist, post-national agenda.
Speaking as a European.
Here are the facts. Fact, after 9 years of Liberals, gun-related crime is up 116%, with Toronto police saying that over 80% of the gun offenses use illegal firearms from the United States. Fact, the Liberal government only inspects 1% of shipping containers coming into our country, allowing drugs and guns to sneak through in the other 99%. Fact, the Liberals let in multiple ISIS terrorists to Canada, including a man allegedly filmed cutting up a human body on a crucifix in the Middle East. The same man is now charged with planning a terrorist attack in Canada. Fact, the Liberal government admits it has lost count of the number of people who are in Canada illegally. But one government report estimated that it's anywhere between 20,000 or 500,000. But it could be more. Fact, 49,000 Canadians have died of opioid overdoses in the last 9 years, with many of those deadly drug ingredients coming in over our border through our ports from China and Mexico. Fact, Canadian security services have identified 350 organized crime rings operating within Canada's borders. 63 of these groups have international connections to China, Mexico, and other nations. Fact, in British Columbia, police recently discovered a super lab containing enough fentanyl and materials to kill 95 million people, more than killing our entire population twice. Fact, in the year leading up to September 2024, U.S. border agents seized 11,600 pounds of drugs coming from Canada. Fentanyl seizures tripled between 2023 and 2024. Even our neighbors have noticed. President Trump's administration has raised concerns and has put that as a rationale for imposing tariffs on Canada. These tariffs and these threats are wrong and unjustified, but it should not take a leader of a foreign country for the Liberals to scramble to fix their disastrous, broken border policy. I will take back control of our borders. My common sense, Canada First plan will, 1, immediately deploy military helicopters and surveillance to the border to spot and intercept risks, as the Canadian Forces Chief of the Defense Staff, General Jenny Carignan, offered this month. 2, expand powers of CBSA border agents to patrol anywhere along the border, not just at official border crossings. 3, hire 2,000 new CBSA border agents to intercept illegal crossers, drugs, guns, and other dangerous lawbreaking. 4, install high-powered scanners at all major land crossings and shipping ports. These scanners can see through walls of containers and vehicles to spot drugs, guns, and stolen cars. 5, build border surveillance towers and deploy truck-mounted drone systems that can spot border incursions. 6, we will track departures from our country so that we know which people who've been deported have actually left. We'll pay for this program of border security by slashing wasteful programs like the liberal gun buyback, which proposes to take away rifles from law-abiding hunters and off-duty police officers. And despite spending 4 years and $60 million, this program has not taken a single gun off the street. Ending this scheme will save $600 million, money that will go towards securing our border against illegal guns, which are to blame for 85% of crime, according to the Toronto Police. I want to protect Canadians from criminals. The Liberals want to protect turkeys from hunters. But we're also going to cut billions in pricey consultants and phase out thousands of back office bureaucratic jobs through attrition. That is to say, we will not fill all the positions vacated by those public servants who voluntarily retire. Less bureaucracy and waste, more boots on the ground, and choppers, drones, and surveillance in the sky. We'll let lawful people and goods in, and we'll keep drugs, terrorists, and other threats out. And we'll save our trade with the United States. Simply, common sense conservatives will take back control of our border and put Canada first. Now, let's bring it home.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. As you can see from my title and my thumbnail, it seems like, I don't know, President Trump's tariff tactics are making people change their tune. As you've seen in the first little video clip of Pierre Poilievre, I hope I get his name right, which, by the way, I have no grievances with this guy. I do like this guy in Canada, okay? But it just seems that him and Justin Trudeau basically put down our president, Donald Trump, okay, for wanting to raise, I should say put a 25% tariff on Canada, because he basically told them, if you don't do something about the border, which is affecting America, I'm going to raise tariffs on you. Now, everyone on the left, from Canada to America, okay, from Mexico to America, from Panama to America, from Canada to America, from China to America, are all bitching, saying that Trump is a tyrant, he's a dictator, he is going to destroy economies, and yada, 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 yada. But it's funny how he can put out a video a day ago, 2 days ago, okay, trying to schmooze to the American people, are also putting down Donald Trump because he wants to put tariffs up. And then all of a sudden, a few hours ago today, or sometime earlier today, this commercial pops up, which is, by the way, on Pierre Poilievre's YouTube channel, saying that he's going to implement all these new tactics at the border because, as you can see, in the first video he said that Canada is strong, but yet they've got, how many crime rings did he say? Over 600? 63 of them are international crime rings from all around the world. 49,000 Canadians have died of fentanyl overdoses. They've got terrorists coming in, some that are that have committed heinous crimes in their own countries. They've got how many illegals coming into their country? How many guns? How many crimes being committed? And now all of a sudden, Trump says, if you don't shut down the border, because it's been a problem, and you heard Mr. Poilievre, I'm saying his name wrong, I'm just going to call him Pierre. Mr. Pierre is now, which he has been saying, by the way, in all fairness, that the Justin Trudeau and the leftist regime in Canada has been nothing but a thorn in the Canadians' side. But now he's going to admit it. Why? Because Trump wasn't lying about putting a 25% tariff and basically telling Canada, we don't need your steel, we don't need your oil, we don't need your lumber. We can easily reopen Pittsburgh and get the steel mills going. We can cut down our own lumber. We can grow our own trees and cut down our own lumber. We can basically just go straight to Canada or some of the other states that are producing oil like Texas and just drill the shit out of our own oil. It's funny, isn't it? While all of the mainstream media is saying that the stock market's going to crash, okay, while all the social media cronies are going crazy on TikTok, on YouTube, on Rumble, on Instagram, saying that what Trump is doing is wrong, yet the guy that wants to be in charge in Canada has changed his tune. I wonder why. Oh, and it doesn't end here. We're going to get to a couple of other people. But before I continue, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So this is what's going on in Canada. Basically, Trump has made Canada bend the knee. And that's another thing. I've noticed that a lot of mainstream media talking heads and nearly every social media talking head that is beholden to the leftist machine, now they're trying to turn it around, saying, no, these people, they're not bending the knee. They just know what's best for their country. Oh, really? Yeah, it's called bending the knee. Because they know what's best for the country. They know that when Trump said, if you don't do this, you're not going to get any money. We're going to pull out and we're going to stick a tariff on you. And now everybody's changing their tune, but they're not bending the knee. Oh, no, they're not bending the knee. Definitely not. I mean, you know, if you leave it up to the left, them kneeling for the American anthem, kneeling for the flag, not wanting to pay homage, you know, to their country, America, to them, you know, they're used to bending the knee. Okay, but it's never for, you know, it's never, how can I say, it's never cut and dry in their eyes. It's like, no, we're going to bend the knee for things that don't help the country. But we'll never bend the knee for what's right. But it looks to me like Canada just bend the knee. And I don't mean the Canadian people. Well, I shouldn't say the Canadian people, because if you ask me, with what all these leftists did in Canada, booing some of our people during a sports event while they were singing the national anthem, which, by the way, on a lot of the channels, a lot of the Canadians have deeply apologized, saying that that is not how they feel about America. But like we have in America, we have these leftists that hate America. There's also leftists in Canada that hate Canada and America, and we all know how that goes anyway. But people are bending the knee. Let's go see, because remember what happened with Panama, with the Panama Canal. The Panamanian president was he was adamant. He was very adamant. We ain't doing nothing for America. No, sir, we're not doing nothing. But then, for some odd reason, Marco Rubio, over the weekend, I think it was, went and gave him a little visit, and he had a statement to put out. Let's play that statement. Here we go.
Una cosa importante, que es una decisión que adopté y se la comuniqué. El memorándum de entendimiento del año 2017 sobre la ruta de la seda de Belt and Road Initiative no será renovado por mi gobierno. Vamos a estudiar la posibilidad de si se puede terminar antes o no, pero creo que le toca en 1 o 2 años la renovación, porque es cada 3. Así que esa iniciativa que se firmó, cuando se firmó, en el tiempo que se firmó, no será renovada por mi gobierno.
Gee, let me cut in real quick on this one. What does this say here? I mean, I'm letting everybody read. I'm not trying to, read over the closed caption, but it says, many have welcomed the Panamanian president's decision to end the partnership with China. Do you think he bend the knee, people? I don't know. Let's go. What's this say here? Wow, it's about time someone stood up to China's bullying tactics. Panama's decision to sever ties with China over the canal dispute is a huge win for sovereignty and a major blow to Beijing's expansionist ambitions. Trump's leadership on this issue has paid off bigly. Let's see more countries follow suit. This was put out by Iteration on X, I guess, because it's a blue check mark. Let's continue. End Wokeness says, Panama bends the knee to Trump and will be ending its dealings with China over the canal dispute. United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio called for President Mulino to reduce Chinese influence over the Panama Canal or face potential retaliation from the Trump administration. Okay, it says Secretary Marco Rubio put out his own statement on X. It says I met with Panamanian President Jose Raul Molino and Foreign Minister Javier Chapma, I think is pronounced, to make clear that the United States cannot and will not allow the Chinese Communist Party to continue with its effective and growing control over the Panama Canal area. We also discussed efforts to end the hemisphere's mass migration crisis and ensure fair competition for U.S. firms.
Creo que esta visita abre un camino para construir una nueva etapa de relaciones. Así lo veo yo, así lo sentí de parte del secretario Marco Rubio.
Yep.
Y a la vez tratar en la medida de lo posible de que se incrementen las inversiones de los Estados Unidos en Panamá. Le expliqué una serie de proyectos de infraestructura que el gobierno tiene en carpeta, en cartera, con el ánimo de que las conozcan y en su momento que se hagan las licitaciones, que comenzarán muy pronto, pues se puede entrar.
Oh, gee, look at that. Says U.S. President U.S. President Donald Trump has previously demanded that the Panama Canal be returned to the control of the United States. Southern Bella, I guess Florida, says we need the Panama Canal back, period. It should have never been given away. Exactly. President Molino has reiterated Panama's sovereignty over the Panama Canal is not up for debate. Okay.
And the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in Panama in the first stages of President Donald Trump's inaugural pledge to take back the canal. Top of the agenda is curbing China's growing influence. That's despite resistance from Panama's president.
Marco Rubio arrives in Panama today, his first trip as Secretary of State, underscoring the importance of the crisis here in Panama between its close ally, the U.S. Rubio has expressed concerns that because Chinese-owned corporations have control of 2 ports along the Panama Canal, that those could be used to create a choke point on the canal. Of course, the Panama Canal, crucial for the U.S. economy. More than 40% of U.S. containers pass through that canal. So a chokehold could really interrupt the supply chain. It could also cause strategic damage as well if U.S. warships have to get out there in a hurry. Rubio has warned that this situation needs to be changed. President Trump has gone even further than his Secretary of State, saying China already controls the canal and that Panama will not get away with it. So we have the unusual situation here of 2 close allies, Panama without even a military of its own, Panama which uses the U.S. dollar, close allies in a stable canal for the past 25 years. Now, high tensions. Rubio and the Trump administration have all said that all options are on the table with the 1977 treaty, including a military option, so some tense diplomacy ahead here in Panama.
Okay, now we're going to get to some more, okay? But for all you leftists out there that are looking at this the wrong way, saying that Trump is a tyrant and that what he's doing is wrong, because all you people side with all the communists and socialists around the world. Anyway, you did hear on the first video what Pierre from Canada had to say about how 1% out of all their shipping containers are inspected, which means what? There are things coming in from China going through Canada, okay, and that's how the drugs are getting across into the American border from the Canadian side. Couple that with the fact that China is in control of the Panama Canal, and there's more shipping containers coming from there, and what's coming up from South America? You guessed it, more freaking drugs. Are you people getting the picture now? Are you people understanding why Trump is doing what he's doing? And that's just the drug aspect. Never mind the weapons, never mind the human trafficking, never mind God knows what else is coming in or being shipped around that nobody is paying attention to, because the leftists in Panama, the leftists in Canada, okay, are letting it happen. So you can go out there and cry all you want. You could put a spin on this. You can call MAGA a bunch of cultists. Trump is a tyrant. He's a racist. You can say whatever the hell you want. But there's one thing you don't understand. And that is to take care of your own backyard. You people would rather lay down and let somebody walk all over you, okay, like the little socialist sheep that you are, instead of looking at this on a big global scale and saying, well, damn, China's moving in from South America, moving on up. They're in Panama. China is basically doing the same thing in Canada. And what's the other one? Oh yeah, what's that other little island, that other little country? I shouldn't say island, it's a country, forgive me. That only has, what, 49,000 inhabitants, citizens? Anybody know that one that Trump's been talking about? Where you can see the Russian and the Chinese ships from off the shore? And if anybody, any of you leftists want to look at a map, just look a little further up north. So you got China up north, China down south, and China towards Canada. Surrounding who? America. And you wonder why Trump is putting tariffs on all these countries and telling them, if you don't send military help to secure your damn borders and stop letting illegal immigrants in to come into America, and the drugs and the weapons, whatever the case is, and I know some of you are going to say, well, there's weapons being shipped over from America into Canada. Yeah, by who? Criminals. So Trump is trying to take care of America so the criminals don't do that. But if any of them slip through from America into Canada, wouldn't it be a little better if we had security on our side? And then the ones that might get through, that Canada will have security on their side to stop them? But you see, that's the problem with you leftists. You are all for the criminal. You're all for the criminally minded, the criminal element. You don't care, you don't give a damn who lives and who dies, who gets hurt and who doesn't. Do you see the way Trump is looking at this? He's looking at all this like a chessboard. Okay? As a matter of fact, since I know a lot of you like playing video games because many of you don't have a damn job, why don't you pick up the board game Risk or Castle Risk and look at what the rules are in that game. It is to stop when you're playing amongst friends that they all pick a continent, a country. You have to protect whatever continent or country on the board game from everybody else coming in. Now just blow that up on a grand scale and put yourself in the middle of America. And then ask yourself, why are the Chinese in South America? Why are the Chinese way up north in Greenland or Iceland, wherever the hell they're at, off the shore? Why are the Chinese shipping stuff through Canada? Think about that. On top of all that, out west towards California, you have Gavin Newsom that's left the border open, and you know what they're finding in California? You know who they're finding? And there's been lots of video of people crossing into California. Yeah, you're right. People from China and all over the world. So all you leftists are looking at this like, oh, Trump just wants to be a tyrant and just pick on people, and he wants to make enemies. No, do you not understand that all these people that are supposed to be our supposed allies, the leftists have taken control, and they have been letting America get bombarded with illegal immigration and drugs, human trafficking, gang members, rapists, murderers? Do you not understand that? Of course you don't. Because like I said, you just as much as lay down and let somebody step all over you, because that's what you think the way humans should be. Let's get to the next video clip. Here we go.
A developing story as we are hearing that President Trump has agreed to pause tariffs on Mexico for 1 month in exchange for Mexico placing troops along the border. Let's head back out to the post from the president via Truth Social, and I do want to bring it to you here in full, as it says this. I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border, separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for 1 month period, during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. We also continue to have this live picture.
Let me just cut in real quick. This was put out 10 hours ago. Looks like the president of Mexico, looks like she bend the knee too.
Out of Mexico as President Sheinbaum continues to address a crowd there, including the press. She was answering some questions regarding that phone call that she had with President Trump early this morning around 8 in the morning local time. And I do want to just recap this breaking news for you all here, reading some reporting from the Associated Press in which they say Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum saying Monday that after a conversation with U.S. President Donald Trump, that the planned tariffs are on hold for 1 month. a statement that has been confirmed by the White House. The Mexican president added that the two countries would continue talks on security and trade, and that the, quote, tariffs are put on pause for a month from now. Now, the pause added to the drama as President Trump's tariffs against Canada and China are still slated to go into effect on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Uncertainty remains about the durability of any deals and whether the tariffs are going to bring on a broader trade war, as President Trump has promised more import taxes to come. The president posting on social media that he spoke Monday with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and would be speaking to him again at 3 p.m. Both Canada and Mexico had plans to levy their own tariffs in response to U.S. actions, but Mexico is holding off for the moment. The president, that's Trump, using his Monday social media post to repeat his complaints that Canada has been uncooperative despite decades of friendship and partnerships that range from World War II to the response to the 9/11 terrorist attacks on the United States. So while we are following this development between the U.S. and Mexico, it still remains to be seen what's going to happen going forward with these tariffs between the U.S., Canada, and China.
And there you go, people. How ironic that all of a sudden the president of Mexico has changed their tune. And by the way, I didn't mean to get it mixed up before with Iceland and Greenland. I was just upset, but it's Greenland. Okay? But how ironic that all these countries are pushing back, like Justin Trudeau a couple of days ago decided to get on TV and make his own little statement with a little smirk on his face saying, well, we're going to go and put a 25% tariff on American goods and blah, 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 blah. And then Pierre from Canada puts out a commercial showing all the chaos that under Justin Trudeau has basically brought to the Canadian people and Americans. And now Justin Trudeau is supposed to sit down with Trump again. And why? Because it's called having peace through strength. Okay? People need to understand that Trump was only president for 4 years, from 2016 to 2020. The corruption in America has been going on for decades. The worst part is when Obama came in, he had 8 years to ignore all kinds of stuff that was going on and do all kinds of backdoor deals. Okay, I should say backroom deals. Sorry. And then Trump was vilified for 4 years, and then Biden came in, and it basically just amped everything up. As a matter of fact, Doge, okay, the department that Trump started, that so many people are saying that it's not going to happen because Trump doesn't have the right to do it, which, by the way, he does. You're all a bunch of morons if you don't know what the president is capable of doing, what kind of power he holds, and what kind of power he can yield. They basically have already found about a little over, 1.8 billion dollars. Okay. Which some information I found out today, which I found very ironic, the Lutheran Church of Florida, LLC, or something like that, and other Lutheran organizations, I should say, they have been hiding one of their programs under everybody's nose, and hundreds of billions of dollars has been going to them. Now they're supposed to be helping out people, Americans, that are less fortunate, but the vast majority of the money that they're getting in the hundreds of millions, they are using to help out illegal immigrants. I just found out that information today, that I had to look it up, and I looked it up in Florida, and on their website, if you dig deep enough, well, you don't have to dig deep enough, you just have to know what to put in, it's there. So they are getting money from the federal government, our tax money, on the sneak, and instead of allocating those extra hundreds of millions of dollars to help out more people in our communities, no, they're helping them out. Let's say it's 10 to 1. $1 for an American, $10 for illegal immigrants. The proof is out there. You don't believe me? Go look it up. It's ridiculous. So does anybody see what Trump is trying to do, or are you just still so full of so much damn hate that you don't even care about this country? And if you don't care about America, then get the hell out. Pack your shit and just go. What do you think? You're just going to stay here and just destroy America because you say you're an American, but you'd rather see it be destroyed from all fronts? Coming in from Canada, coming in from Mexico, coming in from Greenland, coming through the airports. Ron DeSantis, the video that I put out the other day, which, by the way, didn't get pushed out, of course not, was talking about how they're always trying to protect the waterways in Miami because they're always getting boats coming in. You got Haitians coming in, you got people from different countries coming in, and it's no damn secret. It's not a secret. It's been going on for years, if not decades. And all you left to say is that people that voted for Trump, people on the right, Republicans, we always turn a blind eye. You are the ones that are turning a blind eye. You're not even worried that if China surrounded this country, on top of the fact that you got people from within the country that are trying to destroy it. People that rather pay their allegiance to Hamas, okay, and protest. Oh, and by the way, I believe that Trump is, I don't know if he passed it or he's going to pass it, that any foreign exchange students that are here studying, if you are a pro-Hamas or Taliban or whatever supporter, you're losing basically your chance. You're getting kicked out. And rightly so, you should get kicked out. You're not going to come to this country and suck off the teat of American taxpayers just so you can go and glorify a damn terrorist organization. It's something, in all honesty, they should have did a long time ago. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I hope this video is not long, but I hope these little tidbits, everybody can see what's going on. Put on your thinking caps. God gave us one of the greatest, he gave us so many good gifts. One of the greatest gifts he gave us was having a mind that you can separate your love from hate. Think about it like that and just think rationally and say, you know what, let me look at a map. Just look at a map, go online, look at all the places that China is surrounding, all the countries, the way China is moving in. Look at all the way all these drug dealers and murderers and rapists and gang members, look at all their entry points. Look at the map of America and look at the way the threat is coming from the outside in, whether it's by boat, shipping containers, by flying in by plane, crossing the border. Just look at all that and then look at how strategically all these countries are setting up shop off our waterways and close to our allies, Greenland being one of them. Okay? Which is a fact. And just to put the icing on the cake, I was watching an interview today that Putin put out, and for all you people that love to support Ukraine, Zelensky himself said it. If you don't believe me, go look it up. That everybody thinks that America has given Zelensky $200 billion or something to that amount. Now that Trump's in power, I guess he feels a little more comfortable. Okay? But he came out and said, his own words, that the money that's being allocated has not gone into his hands. It is being distributed by certain entities. But here's the thing. That what he says that what Ukraine has gotten is only about $75 billion. He does not know and he cannot account for the other $125 billion. Think about that. Okay? And just to put all you leftist panties in a bunch, you might as well know now because you're going to hear it later. There's supposed to be talks that when the ceasefire happens between Russia and Ukraine, when everything gets settled, one of the things on the table that it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. Something tells me it is going to happen. One of the, I guess you can call it provisions, if you want to call it that, is that Ukraine cannot join NATO. And people might say, why? Again, look at the way America is being surrounded. Now go into Russia and look at the way Russia is being surrounded. And that's why Russia doesn't want Ukraine in NATO, because they will finish surrounding Russia. Think about it, people. Now, I'm not saying I'm on Putin's side. But if a leader to a country is trying to protect its country like Donald Trump is trying to protect America, and the way he says for all Americans, unlike Kamala and Biden and the rest of them, and Hillary, who says that, you know, half the country is deplorables, meaning us, that right there tells you she wants division in the country. Trump is saying he wants to protect all Americans. But you people can't stand that. You just can't. You want the division. You want enemies, okay, foreign and domestic, to hurt this country and its people. Number one, I think it's a damn shame. All you people out there saying, never in my life did I ever think that somebody like Trump would ever be president. I can't believe it, yada, yada, yada. Never in my life did I ever thought I would hear people, especially people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. Never mind the young people, their brains are still malleable. I'm talking the older people that have been through so much that can sit back and not look at all this and say that it is okay for our country to be infiltrated from outside and from within. Unbelievable. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. Don't forget to pray for all the missing children. And I, for one, I say it, I am proud. Well, I'm proud that God is my savior. Okay? But I'm very happy that I voted for Trump. Okay? All you leftists keep saying, well, you're gonna get what you voted for. Yeah. A person that is trying to protect our country and making other world leaders bend the knee to stop letting all the drugs and criminals into our country. Yes, I'm very happy I voted for Trump. Peace.